ARI AJEE, but you can call me Ari, and welcome to or back to my channel. If you're new here, just know you're gonna get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. What's up, my mamas and papas, baby babes? I hope you guys are doing well today. Today, I'm going to be talking about a topic that I've really rarely ever seen people have this conversation, but we're gonna have it today. The reason I'm doing this video is because I saw this TikTok, and I'll insert it.
Study on those of us that were never asked out, never asked to any dances, never were shown any romantic interest whatsoever, all of middle and high school, and honestly most of college too, because I feel like that definitely fucked me up somewhere developmentally.
Oh, I know it did.
For those of us who were in high school and even in college, when we weren't picked, when we weren't asked out on dates, when we weren't asked to go to homecoming, when we didn't have a boyfriend, you know, we are considered the late bloomer. The girls who were never picked, the girls who weren't called pretty, girls who were bullied. Now, to go ahead and start off with this video, if you're new to me, you know, I'm gonna just go ahead and let you know you can play with your caregiver.
Don't play with me, hoe. Play with the bitch that begs you, bitch. Don't play with me, hoe. Play with your caregiver. Yeah.
Yes, God, period. Thing I will put in this video as a big disclaimer, and I'm really putting this here and now, because if you do it, you gonna piss me the off. Like, you gonna piss me off. And I don't want to get pissed off, because I really like for people to leave their comments and, you know, we have adult conversation, but it's for the late bloomers, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of the times people want to like go in different communities, but this is for people who are late bloomers, who can relate and who can understand. If you are a person that's always been picked and you have some type of trauma from that, I am sorry for you. I am sorry about that. But we hear about your trauma all the time. This trauma that I'm going to discuss and share my story with is trauma about how it has affected me and many others of when growing up in high school we weren't considered pretty or beautiful, thin enough, and we didn't get picked. Our community showed us what the fuck it was. So refrain from making this a you situation, because it's not about you, it's about us. And yeah, don't piss me the fuck off. Just don't. On this platform, I really try to come, you know, be my I do give you guys my authentic self, but in my everyday life, like, I curse like I cuss like a sailor, and I don't want to have to cuss somebody. I know YouTube doesn't really allow cursing, so I really refrain from it. But in my everyday life, I drop F-bombs like, I mean, the fuck? So let's not get me there, because we wouldn't like me when I'm there, you know. That's a real bitchy bitch, and you don't want to bring that bitch to life. But I'll start off by sharing my experience and my trauma pretty much about being the late bloomer. So to start off, growing up, elementary school, middle school, high school, I went to school with nothing but black people. I come from a very predominantly black area. I'm gonna tell you this, I didn't graduate with no white people in my class. Now, that doesn't take away from the fact that my neighboring city is nothing but white people. It's nothing but, you know, it's nothing but that. It's in my area, yes, it's predominantly black, but we still have to travel to different areas, because in that particular area I was in, we didn't have enough stores. And my mom, she lived close to the interstate, baby. Honey, we lived in the suburbs, so honey, we had to go. So she needed to go somewhere, we had to go. She didn't shop in the town. But I say all that to say, just to give you some demographics. I went to school in an all-black high school, dealing with black people. Believe it or not, we do have a hierarchy. And it's no secret that when it comes into the black community, a lot of the times that therapy is frowned upon. Bullying is seen as roasting, joking on people, you know, talking about people. It's not seen as bullying. It's seen as, oh, I'm about to jib you, I'm about to joke on you. And that's not always necessarily the case. Where I grew up, you had to have thick skin and you had to have some hands, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't let nobody punk you. So with that being said, when it came to dating and liking people, I found myself, especially when I started to see where I fell on the, you know, beauty hierarchy, around that time, honey, I was low, baby. I was low. I would say, because I don't believe that I'm ugly or anything like that, but growing up in high school, you know, you have to grow into certain things, baby. You got to grow in your looks. You got to grow in your confidence. You have to grow in your sophistication as a lady, as a woman. And I didn't have those things. My mom always told me that I was beautiful and I was pretty. And you know, your parents going to tell you that because you're their child. But my mom, she's a straight shooter. Growing up, especially having like extra weight on me, guys weren't, you know, trying to be with me, trying to date me. They didn't ask me out. They didn't buy me Valentine's Day gifts. Nobody asked me to prom. Nobody asked me to homecoming. You know, I really just stayed in my shell and I stayed in my lane. I feel like for my reputation in high school, I was just known as the smart girl. And being the smart girl can help you in a lot of ways. Guys will pay attention to you only because they want to copy off of your paper. And I went to a high school, if you didn't allow somebody to copy off your paper, then they called you all types of names, like you fat bitch, you fat ass bitch, like I can't stand that bitch over there. You know, it wasn't no, you know, cutesy nice shit like that. So I found myself just, you know, if people wanted to do this or do that, I just found myself kind of okay, whatever. And that was high school. When I was in my, and I'm skipping to high school because middle school, I mean, it was the same thing. I didn't get any attention, nothing like that. I've always had, like I say, my confidence was always up and down. But in middle school, up all the way into my senior year of high school, I could fake the funk, and I could have some type of illusion, but I still wasn't as confident as I am now. And I look back on my life like, wow, if I had the confidence I have now then, I would have been dangerous, honey. I would have been unstoppable. But that's what makes me a late bloomer, because usually a young lady's experience in middle school, high school, you know, that's when we start to date and we start to have boyfriends and we start to talk on the phone and just get those different experiences under our belt. But being the fat girl, the girl that's deemed not pretty, the girl that's not picked, when you don't have those things, you have a different experience, which makes you a late bloomer. So fast forward to high school. In my sophomore year of high school, I went through I would say I went through a really big depression. I was just really hard on myself and down on myself, and I just felt like I was the ugliest thing in the world. Around this time, I started like transition. It was really big around this time, like to transition to natural, and I really was like digging the natural community on YouTube. I really started to get into YouTube, and for me, looking back at it now, it's crazy how things come full circle, because now I do YouTube as a hobby. I would love to do it full time, but you know what? Till we get there, this is a hobby, honey. Yes, God. But you know, I'm working hard. But the women that I used to listen to on YouTube and just the different videos that were being put out helped me in a way grow my confidence and know how I can articulate different things and say and have confidence in myself, seeing somebody that looked like me or seeing somebody that has the same experience like I'm sharing with you now. I know the best comment that I get from people, and I love so much, is when they tell me that, Ari, I love your transparency. And that makes me feel so good that you feel that from me, because a lot of the times on camera, we can't always relay what we want people to feel or how we feel. Sometimes it's hard for you to feel it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just an amazing comment that I get, that you guys feel that transparency and that realness, because at the end of the day, that's who she gonna be. Period. But getting back into high school and just having that experience with YouTube, it really helped. And I really pray that with my audience, that a young lady watching this or a woman that's watching this relate to me and know that you are beautiful, and that what your experiences and your trauma, they do shape you. And they, in a sense, they do mold you, but you have the power to be what you want to be and portray it how you want to be. And you're just amazing. So at my high school, we have the juniors and seniors are the ones who get to go to prom. And my junior year, I didn't go to prom because I was just like, nobody asked me to go to prom. And growing up, I watched a lot of Disney Channel, and I was really big into that, like, I was just really big into like being a princess. People will tell you like my favorite movie well, my favorite Disney movie of like princesses of all time is going to be the Cinderella version with Brandy. Like Brandy, that's why I tell you all the time, representation matters. But to see a black girl, a young black girl being Cinderella and just being oh my goodness, everything about it. Whitney Houston, I love me some Whitney. And just to see that and see those beautiful black women in that movie just made me feel so good. Like I can really recite that movie word from word. Like as a young little girl, ask my mom, I would go in the closet and get my little poofy, because I had a big poofy dress my mama had for me, yes God, period. And and I would go put, every time that I had the tape, baby, I had VHS, honey, so I would play that tape back, and every time I played the tape I would go get my big poofy dress and I would put it on. So having this idea that my Prince Charming would come up to me and talk to me and ask me out to prom and ask me out on a date, because you know we got to talk about that, you know, that selling fairy tales to young girls. Like I get it, but when you don't fit a certain look and guys aren't looking for a certain thing, I know I just read a comment and they were like, it was on my video, black woman jealous of girls with pretty privilege. I think what people don't get the message in that video was, I'm not saying that she doesn't need to go do this, that, and the third. What the fuck I'm saying, because y'all piss me the fuck off every time you comment some dumbass shit and I can't cuss you out because you know YouTube flag comments and stuff. But I'm saying, even though she may look a certain way, that does not give anybody the right to treat her like shit. Period. I don't give a fuck if you think that she needs to lose weight. That's not the purpose of that. And I don't understand what the fuck is not getting through people's head with that video. It makes me just want to private the whole fucking video. But I'm not going to do that because there's still some really good comments under there and some people who understood what I was saying. But I'm sorry, getting off task is that I felt like, oh, I was going to have my Prince Charming, and when Prince Charming never showed up, guys didn't show interest in me. The only thing that guys wanted from me was a copy off of my paper. Guys didn't want me to be their girlfriend. They didn't ask me out. So when you go through trauma like that, when you're the one that's not picked, you project your insecurities. You become insecure. You question yourself constantly. Well, what's wrong with me? I have a great personality. I'm cool. I'm laid back. I'm chill. You know, I can be very loving. I can be that person that you want in a relationship. And it's just like you go hard on yourself about a lot of things because you feel like you aren't worthy of love. So transitioning from my senior year in high school transitioning to my senior year in high school, I just gained, like I said, I was watching people on YouTube, but I just gained confidence. And I was like, I mean, people, they gonna like me or they not gonna like me. That really doesn't matter. So it is what it is. I'm talking about as far as guys. So this is when I was like, you know, about guy kick, you know, I really felt like that's what I wanted. But yeah, like I was just like, okay, guys don't want me, but I'm still gonna do me. I'm gonna be me. And that's when I really did my last big chop. I did 3 big chops before my last one where I didn't put any more relaxer in my hair, and I just became Ariana. I started to just explore me, being me, because I didn't have a distraction of a boyfriend. I wasn't on the phone late at night talking to somebody because nobody wanted to talk to me. I wasn't deemed what people wanted to talk to, so I was just like, I guess it's why now I'm just okay. I think a lot of us, we get to a place, or some of us, because I did see a video from the girl when she explained her story. I didn't add her story to this video, but I'll link her TikTok name at the bottom and you can go check it out. But she was like, she didn't know how to be alone even though she was always alone. And for me, I knew how to be alone. I was the opposite. I knew how to be alone because I knew people weren't going to try to come up to me and talk to me. It just wasn't that. So going to college, I went to a HBCU my freshman and sophomore year of college. And, you know, they tell you when you go to college that, you know, things will be a bit different. They tell you that you can reinvent yourself, that you can become somebody else, and that you determine how people see you. Yeah. yeah, that's slightly, yeah, my voice got high, but that's slightly true. I still went to a HBCU. I still went to college with black women and black men, and in our community, it is a hierarchy. And learning now, I didn't know how to play what, I didn't know how to, what's the word I'm looking for? Execute, that's the word. I didn't know how to execute what I already knew to my advantage, but I know now. Men are very visual. Men are very visual beings. And in our community, in all communities, fat is not acceptable. Fat is deemed bad. Fat is deemed ugly. Fat automatically puts you at a lower part of the hierarchy. You can be very pretty, but if you are fat, it puts you at a disadvantage automatically. You can be, I mean, beauty is subjective, but, and I mean, we can go about that. I mean, what I find beautiful, somebody else may not find beautiful. And I've seen this for myself, but you can be skinny and ugly, but because you're skinny, you have a higher up over the pretty fat person. And that's just being honest. And that's what I saw a lot. So I say all that to say, even in college, even though I had this newfound confidence about myself, I loved myself. I was happy, like really happy with the woman that I became and the swag that I had. Still the same issue. Guys weren't approaching me. Guys did not want to talk to me. Guys weren't beating down my door as if I was the most prettiest things. Prettiest thing guys showed me on campus. All of them. Fraternities, jocks, smart guys, business professionals, all those types of guys showed me where I stood in the hierarchy, and I was very goddamn low. No, guys weren't trying to talk to me. They weren't even trying to talk to me to get to my friends. It was me and my clique. We weren't the pretty clique. We weren't the clique that you were trying to get at. Even though everybody at that time in college that I felt like in my clique was very, I love them to this day, even though, you know, we fell off. That just happened. It's life. But they were very dope, intelligent individuals, had their own swag and sway. But my friends that I had, we weren't the friends where people were trying to beat down our door and get in our pants. And don't get me wrong, in college I did have crushes. I saw guys that I liked, but I didn't have the courage to go up to them and talk to them. And I knew that even if I did go up to them and talk to them, the bigger girls that I saw, like the plus size girls, they were being talked to. Guys were fucking them, but they were only fucking them. That's how I know. I talked about this in a recent video I did, and I'll tab it up here because I can't think of what I named it. But yes, there are guys out there who are fat girl attracted, but because fat is deemed not in, fat is deemed bad, fat is deemed, why you with that fat girl? I mean, dude, you got this type of accolades, you can do way better than her. And that's how the motherfuckers think. Trust me. This whole conversation about black men and how they think, honey, I've seen this shit play out a lot. A whole lot. And I've always been a person to explore my options, honey. Yes, yes. I didn't expect this video to be so long, but you know, sit back, relax. It's, you know, it's real good tea for you. Where I left off was that the whole conversation that black women are having with black men and the whole divestment conversation, the reason that I have not currently spoken on that is because, one of the reasons I haven't spoken on that whole ordeal is that I'm not dating anybody right now. I keep my ear to the streets with both communities because I am bisexual, but honey, I've never been the type that did not believe in swirling or dating outside of my race. I just never been closed in just to dating my race. I've always been curious about dating other races and seeing other cultures and, you know, how that flow. I'm me, I'm gonna be me, and they gonna be them, but I just, in my experience, never limit yourself. I mean, yes, you may feel like you don't have something in common with a person, but don't limit yourself because, honey, you know. I think also it's a good thing and it's a great thing that I was a late bloomer. I am also grateful for the relationship that I did have. I talked about that previously. It was with a female. Now, even though that relationship ended badly, I still don't bash this person because this person was a big part of how I even grew and expanded more. So I'm not gonna act, you know, I'm not gonna talk shit on the person. I think at the time when we were together, you know, that was a cool person. Now the foul shit that they did later on, you know, that was just foul. But you know, it is what it is. Life go on. You know, you move, you go through shit, and it was a really tough time, but I made it through. Like, I made it out on the other side, and I can tell anybody who may be going through anything, when you get to the other side, it's pretty fucking dope. You just, I don't know. I just feel like my whole mood, my whole aura, my whole vibe is just like chill as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. So me now, fast forwarding to me now, and I will say, because God does everything for a reason. And granted, yes, I was a late bloomer, and I did get in a relationship with a woman, and I was in a relationship with a woman for 5 years. But over the years, I still learned about, I still observed and saw and learned what women had to go through. And even then, when I was in a relationship, I still wasn't getting, like, I wasn't in it, like, people was, you know, barking down my door to talk to me. And I say all that to say is, yes, it's another side to everything. I know we always talk about young ladies who, it's so many guys that talk to them, so many guys that want to be with them, so many relationships that they have. I can tell you now at 27, I've only had one serious relationship. And that serious relationship was with a woman. And feel like I wouldn't have been in a relationship with anybody because, like I was saying, guys weren't beating down my door to talk to me. Now, it was upon a time where I did notice the smaller I got, the better treatment I got. I noticed that now. Now, me being confident, losing over 50 pounds and, you know, handling business, working on myself to lose more, the attention is wow. It's like, wow. And I say that to say, now I get it. Honey, I get it. I will say that body privilege is a thing. Pretty privilege is a thing. And the way you look, I did a video about this, but believe it or not, and take it how you want to take it, the way you look matters. The way you present yourself matters. People treat you, unfortunately, people treat you accordingly to how you look, how you're presented. And it changed their whole vibe if they're going to treat you good or bad. It changed women's whole vibe if they like this hoe or they don't like her. So I say this to say, and for my other late bloomers who would like to share their experience, you know, I just want to hear it down below, because I know we're not alone in this. I know it's more of us out there who are late bloomers, who now in their late 20s see like, wow, just wow. Like, I've never been in a serious relationship with a man. I've never been in a long-term relationship with a man, but the thing is, men weren't checking for me. And I know a lot of people will claim, oh, well, because men weren't checking for you, you went with this. You know, a lot of people try to argue that women go over to the other side because they feel like they're treated better. I made a video on that. Are women the way? Don't ever in your motherfucking life, and I say this with love, think that going to women will keep you from being hurt, keep you from not being chosen. Let me tell you something. Women are no joke. I talked about it in that video. Don't go to women thinking you're going to get some type of special treatment, honey. Hell no. I will say, for me in my situation, God always has my back, but it was certain things that I needed to learn from that relationship that I was not going to learn anywhere else. In that relationship, I was put on a pedestal so high that nobody could bring me down. When I tell you, regardless of what this person may have done at the end, in the beginning, they were front, center, there, and loved me to pieces, and vice versa. God gave me the relationship I needed and not the relationship that I thought I wanted. And it so happened to be with a woman. And And that's just all I have to say about that. I'm not the type of person who gonna just downplay somebody, but God does everything for a reason. And at that time, and I look back at it now, God gave me what I needed. He gave me a relationship where I can come out. It was so many things that I had to learn. I was a quiet, timid person. When you got to know me, I was boisterous, but when I was like meeting somebody, I was quiet. I didn't say much. I ain't had too much sass. And I was able to bring my sass out. I was able to stand up for myself. I went against what I believed and what I grew up to know. I went against family. I went against being talked about. But I feel like I had to have those experiences because those experiences molded me. I was looking at life, and I'll admit this, through rose-colored glasses. And life showed me that I need to take the motherfucking glasses off, and I need to see all the red flags from everybody, not just from a person you're in a relationship with. Friends give you red flags. Family give you red flags. Strangers can give you red flags, and I had to take my rose-colored glasses off from the world to see everybody red flag. Bitch, I need to see you coming, period. That's that on that. I just had to put that snippet in there because I don't want people to try to say, well, hey, this is what this is. No. I mean, I can't, as much as I would love to talk to you, I can't make this video 5 fucking hours long. And even in 5 hours, I can't tell you everything. And I'm not going to tell you everything. Now, you motherfuckers who don't understand common sense, I don't know what to tell you. But you need to back the hell away from me because I don't know what type of energy I'm in right now, but when I edit this, I'm probably like, damn, but don't do it. Just, you know the fuck I'm talking about, and don't try it. But yes, so that's my experience in being a late bloomer. And just to get back to me being 27, about to be 28 next year, and just going back into this dating world, and just getting a new looking back, I was down on myself about being a late bloomer. I was down on myself. I thought I wasn't good enough. I thought I wasn't pretty enough. I thought I couldn't attain the people that I wanted to attain. But God does everything for a reason. And the guys that I wanted, that I thought I liked, that I thought were going somewhere, are fucking bums. They got a whole bunch of kids. They're not really doing nothing with life. And they would have never complimented me in the way that I needed to be complimented. Not to downplay them, because when you a teenager, you in high school, you want the jock. You want the popular girl boy. You want you just want that. You want to be noticed. You want to be liked. You want to be liked by the guys. And when that doesn't happen for you, it makes you come hard. It makes you come down hard on yourself. It makes you think that you aren't worthy. And then when you go to college and you start to experience different people and different things. Like, I had a situation in college where I was at a football game and it was like, is that Ariana? Is that Ariana? But even in college, guys still weren't approaching me. They weren't talking to me. Guys were going up to the girls that they wanted to talk to and that they wanted to build something with and a relationship with. And even in college, they were saying like, well, when you're a freshman, sophomore, people are just trying to have fun. It's when you get to your junior and senior year that you really start to mold and get something serious. And just know, it doesn't work out like that for the girls who aren't chosen, the girls who aren't deemed so pretty and so beautiful. And like I said, you can be a fat girl with a pretty face, but the ugly girl, like I said, the ugly skinny girl will get the guy over you, but because it's of her physique. It's because at the end of the day, she can still be shown off. She's the desired size. Our world does not like fat people. I'ma say it to the word. I'ma say it to the end, and I'ma stand 10 toes on it. People don't like fat people. People can market fat people all they want to. You can bring the people to the fat people, but you can't make the people like the fat people. And that's just on period. Me trimming down now in size, I see. Like I say, I've always been, I've always been confident, but my confidence really started when I started to go to college. And the largest I've ever gotten was when I got to the tail end of my relationship. That's the largest I've ever been. But for society standards, I was still larger than other girls. And at that time, the body shape that was in was thin. Like, it wasn't thick like how it is now. It was thin. So with that being said, that was a lot that played on your psyche when your body doesn't shape to a certain size. Like, I'm never going to be a size 2 unless you know, I just go through some extreme lifts, but I'm never going to be a size 2 because it's just the way my body structure is made. Even with me toning down and sculpting and shaping, I'm gonna be fit thick. Like, that's what my body is transforming to. I'm not mad about it, but that's what it's going to be. So I said this to say that my late bloomers, but I just want you to believe that everything does happen for a reason. Don't be so hard on yourself. I know that's easier said than done. If my late bloomers are watching this in high school now, just know that your life is not just high school. Your life is going to be so many more experiences and things that you go through. But don't let people, if I could talk to the Ariana then that's the Ariana now, I would say slay everybody. Slay from the gods. Be you regardless of what anybody thinks, because at the end of the day, can't nobody do it like you. You are a constellation of awesomeness in one unparalleled vessel, and can't nobody touch it, period. So it is what you know, it is what it is. But I hope you guys, this is the end of this video. I hope you guys understood what I was saying. You know, hope you kind of like the story time and the commentary put together, and that, you know, I would love for you guys to share your experiences down below. And yes, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Sharing is caring. Make sure you turn your post notifications so you don't miss a video. Follow me on Instagram because you know that's how that lit content is at ARI AJEE. And yes, my beautiful mamas and papas, baby babes, I'll see you guys in the next video.